Poetry. The moment I say this word, notions of aesthetics, of beauty, of romance come to our mind. But today at Poetrusic, we shall do a poet who's known for his realism, for his hard-hitting realist poetry, W.H. Auden. Auden was born in England in 1907 and he shared his lifetime with other stalwarts of realist poetry such as Faiz, born in 1911, Pablo Neruda, 1904, and all these three were about 15 or 16 years later than Eliot, born in 1888. And they were living through times when they saw two world wars in our times, in their times. And when Auden is referring to these situations, he is talking of also what is the duty of a poet? What role does a poet play in such times of distress for humanity? And usually at Poetrusic we do one session where we deal with all poets writing about the nature of poetry or the role of the poet. And this is one piece I always do there. He's writing this piece and he titles it September 1, 1939. We are at the brink of the World War, it has just broken and it's going to continue for the next 6 or 7 years. And he's writing about the situation of the world during this phase. Auden has a way in which he deals with this situation that he sees optimism at the end of it. So much so it reminds me of Faiz's association with communism, and less so of Eliot, who constantly discussed the rootlessness of the modern man, directionless in his life, and sometimes also of Neruda when he's really talking of the character of things and getting to a point where you feel that he has laid open the entirety of this notion, this thing, this phase or this time for you. So this is September 1, 1939. It is a very long piece of work. I will recite here the first stanza and the last. It's a piece that deals with democracy, that deals with Hitler, that deals with many kinds of discrimination. It could be social, sexual. In many ways, it deals with all that is not right with our times. So the piece starts saying that I sit in one of the dives on 52nd Street. I sit in one of the dives on 52nd Street. Dives are pubs, rather a seedy pub, a pub which would not be frequented by the rich and the famous, a pub which is not of high repute also. I sit in one of the dives on 52nd Street, uncertain and afraid, as the clever hopes expire of a low, dishonest decade. It's just the decade preceding the Second World War, and Auden here is saying that for the decade he'd heard these talks of there being peace, of there being a resolution, or there being issues where they said, no, there are no tensions brewing, but now suddenly we're there and we are face to face with the World War at our doorstep. Uncertain and afraid as the clever hopes expire of a low, dishonest decade, waves of anger and fear circulate over the bright and darkened lands of the earth. Waves of anger and fear circulate over the bright and darkened lands of the earth. There are countries here where people have a good life. There are those which only have hopelessness. So waves of anger and fear circulate over all these countries, over the bright and the darkened lands of the earth, obsessing our private lives. When such a war is at your doorstep, your private life no longer remains private. You're obsessed with the fact that my country is at war or the neighboring country is at war. The unmentionable odor of death offends the September night. The unmentionable odor of death offends the September night. It is the senseless killing that he's referring to here, which happens in the case of a war. And then, like I said, he goes on to speak of many ills that plague the social and political reality of our times over the course of many stanzas. In the last stanza, he says very poignantly, it's a very heart-touching, heart-rending sort of a finale that he writes to this piece. Defenseless under the night, our world in stupor lies. Defenseless under the night, our world in stupor lies. Yet dotted everywhere, ironic points of light. Yet dotted everywhere, ironic points of light. Flash wherever the just exchange their messages. Flash wherever the just exchange their messages. May I, composed like them of eros and of dust, may I, composed like them of eros and of dust, show an affirming flame? It's the poet who shows an affirming flame. It's the poet who's an ironic point of light. It's the poet who's just. And it's the poet who wants to reach out to more like him. Ironic points of light flash where the just exchange their messages. May I, composed like them of eros and of dust? I am like you, I also have a human body like you have, composed like them of eros and of dust, show an affirming flame. That is W.H. Auden. The piece was September 1, 1939. If you want me to be doing certain pieces of a certain poet, you can please write to me in the comment box underneath this video. You can let me know if you like a certain poet, you do not like a certain poet, or there are things that you want to comment about on the piece of poetry. At Poetrusic, one interesting observation that we've always made is that more the people, more are the facets that we discover to a work. If you feel that you want to write a longer description of what you feel about this piece, you can email me at pratyancha@gmail.com. And to know more about Pratyancha, about my course Poetrusic and the other course that I run in Falsafa, you can also look up my website www.pratyancha.in. Thank you for watching. If you like it, you can subscribe to my channel Pratyancha on YouTube. Thank you again.